Hello and welcome back to Slick Willy Fly. So today I am doing something that I think is a lot of fun. Today I am making the Slick Willy Clouser Minnow. And this is in a size 1. I got a size 1 in the hook, in the vise, I'm sorry. And my Clouser isn't really exactly like the original Clouser. It's a little bit more flashy. But I really love this fly, and I promise you that this fly catches fish. So let's tie one up. So that one was an orange. I'm gonna do this one in Chartreuse. I'm gonna start with a white thread, but I'm gonna switch to brown thread for a part of this fly. I'm doing the white because it's just a really strong thread, and I'm gonna use it to attach my lead eyes. So this is a 70 denier in white. Like I said, a nice strong thread. And the very first thing, I've been tying a few flies. I got a little stuff flying everywhere here. I am going to go ahead and put on, for this particular fly, choices. I have, you know what? I'm gonna use yellow dumbbell eyes. I like mixing and matching and doing different things. So I have these small lead eyes, and I like to use small. Doesn't really matter if I'm using a bigger hook. Like I made one earlier today. It's hard to see it, but I made one in yellow earlier, and this is on a 3/0 hook, and I still used small lead eyes. I think that the size of the eye is the only job that it does is it basically makes this fly keel correctly. So I think that my small size lead eyes is sufficient to make this swim hook up. And that's really the job of the lead eyes. So I'm just doing basic X wraps. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put a little super glue on here. You can use Zap, you can use whatever. And I'm gonna do a few more X wraps in each direction. And now I'm gonna do some figure eights. Just to draw it all nice and tight. If you don't know, what I'm doing is I'm going over the hook shank, but under the lead eye. And now I'm actually going to give this thing a little half hitch and changing color thread. Okay, so my lead eye is on. So now I'm gonna switch to a monofilament thread. And the reason I'm gonna put on monofilament is because it'll let the brown deer hair that I'm gonna use show through nicely. I haven't decided. I might do the gold body. So now I'm just gonna take a little clump of brown deer hair. It's only a size 1 hook. So you gotta size your clumps appropriately based on the size of your hook. So I don't need any of the short hair. I'm not gonna stack. I don't want this to be completely even. But I don't want the excessively long hair either. So the really long ones I'm going to go ahead and pull out as well. And that leaves me with a pretty nice little clump here. I have deer hair flying everywhere today. All right. So now is my length. The length that I want is at least, I would say, 2 hook shanks. So that's 1, and that's 2. Maybe I do 1.5 hook shanks. That's 1. I guess that's about right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right there. Nice and straight. Bring my mono back to just behind the dumbbell eyes. I give it this spin so that the thread wraps the way I want it to wrap. You gotta excuse me that I keep wiping my face, but I've got fuzzy hair flying everywhere and it's driving me a little bananas. So I put it on, I draw it just back so that it doesn't land on the dumbbell eyes. And then I'm going to use my fingers to distribute a little. I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to wrap it nice and tight all the way to the back. Just like that. Now on the previous fly that I did, I used gold tinsel on the body. Not going to use gold tinsel on this fly. What I am going to use instead is some black and silver crystal flash. And one strand will do, because we're going to put a little bit more crystal flash on shortly. And I think that I'm going to attach it near the tail. So all I do is I fold it in half. This is actually half a strand of crystal flash. I'm going to fold it, put it on my thread as evenly as possible, and then take it and just put it right on top of the hook shank. And now I'm going to lock that in carefully, not to grab the hook, the point of the hook. And now I can distribute and lock that in. And when I open this up, it'll look beautiful, just like that. Beautiful. So now I'm going to bring this back up. Going to go under the eyes, and I'm going to go ahead and put a half hitch in and switch back to my white thread, because this thread I'm going to end up coloring with a marker. So now I'm going to reattach my thread just like that. I'm going to cut my tag. Perfect. So now I'm going to get a clump of Chartreuse. Again, you don't need a massive clump. Actually, before I put that clump of Chartreuse, I'm going to put a little flash. A little more flash. So I want a strand, a full strand of crystal flash. And I'm going to fold in half. And then fold in half again. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to set that right on top and lock it in. Open up both loops, just like that. Beautiful. And I never go, from this point forward, I'm never going to take my thread behind the lead eyes. So now I need a clump of Chartreuse. Again, I don't need any of the short hairs. I'm not going to stack. I like the little stagger. I don't need any of the really long ones either. Okay, and my length is the length of the entire fly. So that's my length, and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the remaining deer hair in the angle that I'm going to place it on the hook. Just like that. So now I'm going to spin my thread so this wraps the way I want it to wrap. And now I'm going to 2 loose wraps just to capture it. Now it's important that this clump stay on top. So now I'm going to pull that, and I'm going to crank it tight. And that looks perfect. That looks really good. So now I got to get a marker. Actually, I'm going to trim a little. So it's a little long. I think I've showed you in other videos where I could take a lighter and my needle, and I can singe off any of these little stragglers, because I don't want to risk cutting my thread. Alright, so now I need the correct marker. I think this is going to be a good color. If it's not, I can change it. Let's see how this is going to look. Oh yeah, that's going to look good. Let's give this a couple more wraps. Lock this in nice and hard. There went the top. Get it after I'm done with this fly. I think I'm ready for a whip finish. Beautiful. Cutting off my thread. I love it. That came out really great. So the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little epoxy resin on this head and on the eyeball, on the lead eye. Distributing there a little better. Oh, that looks so good. I get the flash distributed all the way around. I love it. Love it. I have this UV resin that I'm trying to just use the last little bit of the bottle, which I think I'm going to successfully do today. Not quite the last little bit, but I'm getting there. I'm going to use gravity here and a little bit of physics. I'm going to spin in both directions, and when I spin the fly, it just gives it that beautiful, like it just evens everything out, just makes it look so nice. Oh, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. This is going to be a killer. It's a great fly. this size 1 here, you know, it's important that the Clouser Minow is arguably one of the most important flies that anyone can tie, saltwater or freshwater. For sure, every saltwater fisherman has this in their box. There's no question about it. I think most freshwater guys do as well. I personally love this in all kind of different sizes and colors. I have it in orange, so the same that you saw here. On this one, I wrapped the body with a little bit of gold tinsel. But I think that came out great. I used red lead eyes there. This little combo here, I think, is gonna be wicked. I'm gonna singe off those deer hair there up in the front. It's gonna look great when I'm done. And you'll see it in the thumbnail picture. I have one crazy hair here I'm gonna take. And now I'm gonna show you the fly. Basically, the fly is finished. You know, this particular fly will swim hook side up. That's the whole point of the eyes being positioned the way they are. And this is a great fly. That I'm super happy with this fly right there. Just gonna do a little bit more trimming, but I think you get the idea. Thank you for watching. Thanks for having a cocktail with me. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next video. The Slick Willy Clouser Minow. Love it. This thing is gonna be so awesome in the water. I love it. Thanks for watching.